Hello students, this is one of the films I have to deal with, Gone with the Wind. This is a film based on the story written by Margaret Mitchell. I think it's almost 3 hours 45 minutes film. Anyway, it's a beautiful film. So it's like this. The story goes like this. The film depicts the after effects of the civil war. Yes, mainly the throughout the story we can see the civil war happening, and which are the two groups in which this war is happening. One is the Yankees and the South. Okay. Now, it focuses on Scarlett O'Hara, the beautiful daughter of wealthy planter. So we have a plantation owner here, and he has a few slaves, and one of the slaves' name is Big Sam. Now, the novel follows Scarlett through the South Civil War and Reconstruction periods. Scarlett's foolish longing for love of Ashley Wilkes is central to the plot. Yes, so the other character opposite to our heroine, Scarlett O'Hara, is Ashley Wilkes, and our heroine is in love with Ashley Wilkes, but Ashley Wilkes does not reciprocate her love, and he goes on to marry his cousin, his frail, pale cousin, Melanie. Okay, Melanie. Now, what can be seen as the very first theme of the novel? I told you throughout the film you can see war happening, civil war. Now, Ashley is engaged to Melanie Hamilton, his frail, plain cousin from Atlanta. Now, Ashley's wife, Melanie, is a very good character. Is portrayed as a very kind, pale character. That means she is throughout the story is not in good health. Okay, and they have a son also together, Ashley and Melanie. And what else? At a point of in the story when the war, after the war, this Melanie is the strength of Scarlett to go forward in her life, or live after this destructive period of war. Okay, Melanie is like a friend to Scarlett. Now, what are the symbols in the story? What are symbols? Symbols are objects, characters, figures in a story that represent abstract ideas and concepts. In a way, symbols helps in showing the or delivering the story in a better manner. Now, what are the symbols? Rhett Butler. Rhett Butler is a symbol in the story. Rhett Butler is a character of our film. Okay, Gone with the Wind. He is the third husband of Scarlett O'Hara, and Rhett is in head over heels love with our character, Scarlett O'Hara, but here, when Ashley doesn't reciprocate our Scarlett's love, Scarlett doesn't reciprocate Rhett Butler's love. Okay, it's only towards the end of the story that she understands that she truly loves her husband Rhett, but by that time he will be fully devastated about his thinking about his unsuccessful married life, and the death of their daughter. Daughter's name was Bonnie, and he leaves our Scarlett O'Hara. Anyway, let's read. Red represents the uneasy coexistence of the Old South, the New South, and the North. He is nostalgic about the traditional values of Old South. He is opportunistic. That means he is opportunistic means when the other men of the South decide to go for war with the Yankees, he tells that is of no use, and he is kind of not supporting the war. He always looks after himself. He is a kind of self-centered person. Okay. At the beginning of the story, but towards the middle he thinks that he is wrong and goes off to war to help help his men in war. But at first he is not supporting war, and he is with the Yankees. That is the other group that is going in war with the South people. Okay. Now Atlanta is another symbol of the story. Atlanta, burnt by the Yankees and then rebuilt, symbolizes the resilience of the South. After rebuilding, Atlanta becomes a city of New South. Now, our Scarlett O'Hara first lives with his dad and mom in this plantation of Tara. Then she moves to Atlanta. Again she moves back to Tara. It's like that. Okay. After the war, our Scarlett escapes to her native land, Tara. Okay. That is when there is one more sentence in the story that our heroine is told by her father that our native land is the only land that we should care about. And she towards the end of the story also, after her husband leaves her, she decides to go back to Tara, her land. Okay. And what are the motives of the story? Motives are recurring structures, contrasts, or literary devices that can help to develop and inform the text's major themes. So, motives are those things that help in, registering the themes in the story. Now, first motive is female intelligence and capability. Even with gender inequality of the time, women in Gone with the Wind show strength and intelligence that equals or best the strength of and intelligence of men. Okay, so in the in the film, at first we can see the regular stereotypical gender roles. Okay, where women always is a kind of inactive part and men is the active part in war. And after the war the picture changes. Okay, that is the women is very strong. They fight back the destruction that has happened because of the war. They struggle to survive after the war. In poverty and in lack of food, they somehow manages to survive. They become success in the women characters become successful in business. They somehow find food and survive through the destructive war period also. Then we have Scarlett. Scarlett is better in business than most men. Okay, better than her husband Charles itself. That is one of her husband. Now Melanie, besides being subdued in the story, is the strength of Scarlett. Melanie is a character who is in love with Ashley, and they are married also. I've told you before. But Melanie is kind of pale character. She is throughout the story in a way throughout the story she is weak, and afterwards in the story she dies also. Anyway, another motive is alcohol abuse. We can see the major characters: Gerald, that is the father of Scarlett O'Hara, then Rhett, and Scarlett itself rely abundantly on alcohol. They drink so much that one of the characters of the story tell our Scarlet that drinking is not a good habit for good woman in the society. That doesn't suit the woman of civilized women of the society. Anyway, alcohol abuse and female intelligence and capability are the motives of the film Gone with the Wind. Now, another motive is prostitution. There is a character, Belle Watling. This Belle is the character to whom our Red often goes to visit Belle. Belle is kind of a prostitute character in the story, and towards the beginning of the story, our Scarlet is kind of naive and is always fascinated about this prostitution thing, and towards the middle, she hates Belle. And let's see what Belle Watling, how Belle becomes the motive of the story. Belle persists throughout the film. Belle is a exaggerated version of Scarlet, which perhaps explains Scarlet's interest in her. Both women ignore social mandates and manipulate and seduce men. Okay, so Scarlet and Belle seduces men and tries to manipulate them, kind of in a way that first our Scarlet, in the spite of or being angry with Ashley, goes and marry Melanie's brother. Melanie's brother, Charles. After that, first husband is Melanie's brother. Then second, she goes on to marry her sister's love, because her sister's love is a man with wealth. Then she marries him. Then a third husband is Rhett. Okay, and then thus Scarlet is being compared with Belle, the prostitute character, whom our Rhett often visits. Now there is other characters like Gerald O'Hara is Scarlett's father, I have told you. Ellen O'Hara is Scarlett's mother. Mammy is Scarlett's nurse. Mammy, you can remember that so easily because it sounds like mummy. Mammy is Scarlett's nurse, old woman who takes care of Scarlett. Now there is another character like Frank Kennedy, Scarlett's weak-willed but kind second husband. Okay, Frank Kennedy is there. Then Charles Hamilton, Melanie's brother and Scarlett's first husband. So Melanie first marries, I told you, first marries Melanie's, Scarlett first marries Melanie's brother. Melanie's brother's name is Charles Hamilton. That is the first husband of Scarlett. Then second husband's name is Frank Kennedy. He is kind of a weak-willed person who gets killed, okay, because he goes against the people who have attacked our Scarlett O'Hara at some place, and in that attack our Frank Kennedy dies. Now another minor characters. There are some minor characters like Aunt Pitpat. She is the aunt of Charles and Melanie. Then Bonnie is the daughter of Scarlett O'Hara. Then Sullen O'Hara and Karine O'Hara are the sisters of Scarlett. Now Sullen O'Hara's love was our first second husband, Charles, that is Frank Kennedy. Frank Kennedy was the love of Scarlett's sister, Celine O'Hara. Then she kind of stoles this Celine's love from Celine, and Karine O'Hara is the good sister of Scarlett, who turns to religion after war. Then the other themes of of this film, Gone with the Wind, is love. There is love a theme playing throughout the story. We can see love between Ashley and Melanie. We can see love between Rhett and our heroine, Scarlett O'Hara, towards the end of the novel. Then there is okay, there is a society and class structure in this film. First, towards the beginning of the film, we have plantation owners like Gerald, who's Scarlett's father, who's rich and owns slaves. After the war, what happens? This society structure is rebuilt, and all the slaves are freed. Then there is another theme is reverse of gender roles. I have told you gender roles at first is the stereotypical type of gender roles. After the war, that also gets reversed. I have told you that Scarlett gets good in business and looks after her family and everything. Now, willpower of Scarlett O'Hara is another theme of the story. It is absolutely stunning willpower. Okay, she survives through the war. She looks after the wounded people, and in the scarcity of food also she tries hard to get through her life, and she's a very strong character. Anyway, now next theme is significance of native land. Tara is the native land of our Scarlett O'Hara, which she clings to throughout the story, just like her father Gerald. Okay, and some minor characters I forgot to mention is India Wills. India Wills is not our country India. India Wills is the jealous sister of Ashley Wills. Okay, then Big Sam is one of the slaves that Gerald owned. Gerald, father of Scarlett, owned Big Sam, and Big Sam comes to aid when Scarlett was attacked by a few men. Okay, so these are the important things that you should not forget in this film. I hope it is clear. Thank you.